Hey friends, it's Deanna here, and today I'm making some Feel Pretty pants. Now, these pants are great for like lounging around, and they have short version, they have the capri version, and they have the pant length, and they work great with some nice thin wovens, like give it a little bit of swoosh and even some flannel, and they also look great to like dress up pants and stuff like that. But since I am a rebel, I am trying something different today, and I hope it works. I'm following the same exact steps that I would with any other fabric, but I am using jean fabric, so I want to see if I can get myself some of those bigger jeans, and we'll see how it works. If it's too stiff and it just doesn't turn out, well, it doesn't turn out, but I'm still going to try it. So because I'm wearing and doing the jean fabric, I figured I'd go ahead and try to hack some pockets into it as well, because who doesn't want some pockets? So I used a pocket pattern piece from another one of my patterns, and so I cut those out, and I did is I placed it 2 inches down from the waist down, and I sewed them right sides together onto the side of the pants, the outside side of the pant. And actually I didn't sew this one on, so let me show you. I put them 2 down, the crotch area is in the front, this is on the side of the pant, and I went 2 inches down, and now I'm going to sew them on out. And I did that for all 4 sides because I'm making 2 pockets. Yeah, like I said, I just used a pocket from another one of my Ellie and Mac patterns that has a pocket, so that works out well. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm grabbing, this would be, if you didn't do pockets, this would be your first step. I'm grabbing my 2 front pieces, and I'm putting them right sides together on top of each other at the crotch area, right here. And I'm going to go ahead and sew that curve together. So I'm going to pin and sew all the way around. And I'm going to do the same thing to my the back of the pant. This is my 2 front sides together, and I'm going to do the same thing to my 2 back sides. I said I'm going to do that, but I already did. I did it right before I got on here with you guys. So that back part is already put together right here, you see? Okay? So, and I already attached the pockets to the other one, so we're going to the next step. Now, if you don't have pockets, when you open it up, it will be like this, right? No pocket, just flush. And we're going to put the front, we're going to put the front to the back, or the back to the front, right on top of each other. You have no pockets, you just go straight down the side seam like that. But because I am doing the pockets, I'm going to open that pocket up, and I'm going to face them together, and I'm going to sew around the pocket and down, okay? So if you are doing pockets as well, then you're going to sew around the pocket. I'm going to go ahead and pin all the way around my pockets. And all the way down. Again, if you don't have a pocket, you just go all the way down to the end of your pants. Sew them to sew them together. So exciting. I can't wait to see how these turn out. So funny. I like to use different materials just to see what it would look like. I actually got this material at a store for like $1 or $2 a yard, so it wasn't very expensive, so I'm like, I'm gonna try it. If it turns out great. If it doesn't, well, it'll be like what do you call it? Research. Okay, so now we're doing the inside of your pant. This is the crotch area. This is the inside of your leg. We're pinning all the way around because we're gonna sew it all together. This is a really easy pattern. The hardest part is gonna be really the waistband, which really isn't even that hard. This is basically just putting it all together. And I'm using a serger. You can use a regular sewing machine. Especially if it's with wovens, you can use a regular sewing machine, but you want to finish the seams with zigzag stitch or something like that, so they don't come unraveled. when you're wearing it. Because that's not fun. Alright, so I'm going to finish pinning all the way around, and I am going to sew all the way around. I made pockets, so I'm going to sew all the way around the pockets. I think I've already told you that about 10 times. Pockets, pockets, pockets. I'm going to sew all the way around the pocket, but then I'm also going to sew down the pant leg and then the inside seam of the crotch area. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to our next step, which would be getting our waistband together so we can attach it and move on. So let me go ahead and do that. So I have sewn all my sides together on my pants. I went my sides and then my inseam. It's all serged together. Now we're going to do the ties. And I grabbed both of my ties that I cut out. And I'm going to put them right sides together and sew them together to make one continuous long strap. Call that a strap. I mean band. This is not the waistband. This is the straps. Yeah. What did I say? I'm getting confused. Okay. So here it is, and I am making them out of a thinner woven. So now that I've got it right here, I'm gonna fold it 1/4 of an inch up at the ends. Here's one end, folding it up. I'm gonna do the same thing at the other end, folding it up. And then I'm gonna grab them and fold the two ends, wrong sides together, to the inside to meet at the middle. So you can do it this way, or you can go ahead and fold it down the middle and make that crease down the middle so you can see where it is. And then they're just meeting right there at the middle, and you're just steaming them together. Okay, all the way down. To create that the strap that you're going to put on your waistband all the way down. Like I said, if it's easier for you, if you have stubborn fabric, you might want to fold it down the middle first and create that crease to know where it's going. This fabric is actually pretty easy to work with when I'm steaming it. It's basically just folding up on its own. Okay, so now that the two sides are in, we're gonna go ahead and fold it. Here, I'll show you the two sides in. This is 1/4 of an inch in that way. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fold it sideways. And I'm gonna steam again. After I do this all the way down, I'm gonna go in my sewing machine and I'm going to sew it closed. So it'll be one long strap. Almost there. Okay, I'll go all the way down, and then I'll go ahead with my sewing machine and sew it right along the edge to make one continuous strap. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll move on to our waistband. All right. So I finished sewing my ties, and I'm gonna show you how I sew them together right there and all the way around. So my ties are ready. My tie is ready right there. Now I got my waistband, and I'm going to put them together and sew the edges, the raw edges, the short raw edges together. Get my scissors. And same on the other side to form a continuous band. Now, if you're doing the higher waistband, I'm doing the higher waistband. If you're doing the lower waistband, so this is the higher waistband, and what I'm doing is I'm going to do 1/3 of the way down. A third of the way down. No, 3/4. 1/3. I don't know what I'm talking about. 3/4 of an inch down. I'm gonna sew around. So, well, first let me go ahead and turn this. Wrong sides together. Here's my waistband, okay? So I'm gonna measure 3/4 of the way down. No, 3/4 of an inch down from my top to the mark. Let me see where I put my ruler. Okay. So 3/4 of an inch down from the top. It's where I'm going to sew my first line. So here's my 3/4. And usually your sewing machine has like the little lines on there. So if you can figure 3/4 down. Now if you're doing the shorter, the lower waistband, then you will do 1/2 an inch. So I'm gonna sew a line all the way around my waistband at 3/4 down from the top. Okay, but if you're doing, like I said, that's for the higher. If you're doing the lower, then you do 1/2 an inch. And I'm gonna go all the way around, and I'm gonna leave a 2-inch opening, because that's where I'm gonna insert my elastic once it's time for me to insert my elastic. So I don't wanna shut it closed and not be able to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna go all the way around my waistband and do 3/4. So I marked it 3/4 down from the top, 3/4 of an inch down from the top, and I'm gonna sew all the way around, and then we'll come back to the next step. All right, I'm finishing up that first one at 3/4, and I'm leaving a 2-inch opening so I can insert my elastic. And you can't really tell because it's the same color fabric, but I mean the same color thread, but I already put it on there. You can tell right there, kind of see it. All right, so the next step is, so here's my band, okay? So I want to make sure, I'm going to find the center, and now our pattern does come with a, it shows you where the center of the band is, but I'm just going to go ahead and mark it right there. And the next step is, if you are making, if you're using buttonholes, or if you're doing grommets, this is when you would do it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I have some interfacing right here, and I'm getting that interfacing on because I am going to do buttonholes, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the interfacing on. Here's my pin that's showing me where the 1/2 is, and then I'm gonna do one buttonhole right here and one buttonhole right here. And that's where I'm gonna insert my why do I keep drawing a blank on what they're called? My tie. That's where I'm gonna insert my tie. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. After I sew the top, I'm gonna go ahead and just open it up, and I'm just doing one layer. I'm not doing both. I'm not gonna do both of them together. I'm gonna open it up and do one layer at a time, where I put my interfacing in the back. I'm gonna do my 2 buttonholes right there, changing my foot to my buttonhole foot. And different sewing machines do it differently. This one's actually pretty self-explanatory. You kind of just set it, and it kind of does it on its own. So it's kind of nice. And really, it's just for my tie. So I just want to make sure that they're both the same length. So I'm just going to probably do like about 3/4 of an inch. I mean, I'm probably going to do like about an inch wide, just so my tie will fit. And that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and do those. Oh, picked the wrong one. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll get back and we'll do the next section. All right, my buttonholes are on. And moving this. So now, just like I did 3/4 of an inch down, I'm going to do the same thing here. If you, like I said, if you have a shorter waistband, you will be doing 1/2 an inch. I'm doing 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just gonna mark right here. Actually, I'm gonna mark it on the back because that's where I'm leaving my 2-inch opening right here. So I'm gonna go from what I already made, from the stitch, the line that I already stitched. I'm going 3/4 of an inch down. If you're making the shorter waistband, you will do 1/2 inch down. And again, leaving 2 inches for you to put in your elastic, and then we'll close that up later. I'm changing back to my regular foot, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sew that around, and then after I do that, I'm gonna do 1 line, and then I'm gonna go again 3/4 of an inch and sew another line. So in total, you will have 3 lines of stitches that you have sewn on, and then we're gonna go ahead and put in the elastic through those 3. So make sure you leave, with each row, you leave a 2-inch opening at the same place so that you can put your elastic and your ties through and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and sew those 2 lines, and then we'll come back. All right, so I finished my rows. And let me tell you this, I am not very sophisticated. I don't have a whole lot of different tools that I like to use. So in order for me to be able to tell what 3/4 of an inch was, I marked it on with my ruler, and I marked it with a pen. And then with a washable marker, when I put my strap, my waistband in, and I saw how far 3/4 of an inch was, I kind of made myself a little notch on my sewing machine that I can just erase. And I kept looking at that to make sure that I didn't move my fabric. So I made myself a little guide. I just used washable marker, and I put it right where it was supposed to be. And so that way it would match up. That way I didn't mess up my sewing machine, but I also kept track of where I was supposed to be so I wouldn't be all wobbly. And it worked real well. Okay, so now that we have our 3 lines on, we're gonna go ahead and put our elastic on. So here I have my elastic, and we're going to fit it through that 2-inch opening, if I find it. It's good when you can't find it, because that means my fabric is all, my thread is the same color as my pants. Here they are. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fit that in. And so in the top row, you will have elastic. In the second row, you will have your ties. I'm going all the way around trying to fill that elastic. You can do it with a safety pin or whatever tool you have that would be easiest for you to fit the elastic in. I'm gonna go ahead and fit my elastic in, and then after I do that, we're gonna go ahead and sew the 2 sides of the elastic together, 1/4 of an inch overlapping. So let me go ahead and put this elastic in, because I don't know, I feel like that's gonna take me a little while. And then I'll come back when we go to put it together and then show you the ties, how we did that as well. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Isn't it funny how in a sewing room you end up losing everything? I couldn't find a safety pin, so I ended up doing it with a paper clip, and that was a hassle in itself. But anyway, now I'm doing the tie, and I'm actually gonna go in through the buttonhole and go all the way around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab my strap and go all the way around, but I'm gonna be coming out at the buttonhole. So you can do it at your 2-inch mark. Keep losing it. Okay, you can do it at your 2-inch mark, and then just go one side, go into the one side and go to the front, and then go into the other side and go to the back, okay? But before we do that, let me show you this. Where my 2-inch mark is, and my first 3/4, but I already put my elastic in, as you can tell, because it's all nice and scrunchy. I'm going to go ahead and close that first. I'm going to close it up, that first line, and then I'm going to do my tie on my second line. And like I said, you can start from the 2-inch and go to one side and come out the buttonhole, go to the other one side, come out the other buttonhole, so you have the 2 straps hanging out at the front, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my straps in and close that gap, and then I'll put my other elastic in, the last elastic, and close that gap. And then we'll move on to attaching the waistband to the actual pant. All right, my waistband is finished. You see I sewed up my little casings, and now I'm going to tie my ties together to get them out of the way so they don't get stuck in when I'm sewing the waistband on. So I want to split my waistband into quarters. Now I already have my halves because I sewed it together. So I'm going to scrunch out and find where my quarters are, and I'm just going to mark it with a little notch, and I'll probably put a pin on there just in case. And I know where my halves are and my center because I marked my center when I did my strings at the front. So that's my center front. I want to remember that as I quarter it. And here's my pants. So I've got my pants also have quarter points. They have the front and the back two front. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the band, and I'm going to attach it right sides together. And obviously the higher part is the back. So I want to attach the back to the back. So here's my back side, and I'm going to attach it to my back side, and then my sides, and my front, then my other side. And as I'm serging it on, I am going to pull. That way my elastic, because my elastic is rouging my waistband in, so I want to pull so my waistband is even with my pant waist. And I'm going to start at the back. And literally, guys, this is the last step. Wasn't that easy? Really, the hardest part was putting that waistband together. And it was only hard. The only reason why it was hard was because I couldn't find my safety pins. I literally couldn't find my safety pins. I don't know where I put them. Oh, my knife went up. I'm sorry. All right. I couldn't find my safety pin, and so I had to do it with my with a paper clip, and then my paper clip came and fell apart. So that was not good. That messed it all up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way around, sewing my waistband on, and then after I'm done, I'll come back, we'll hem, and we'll be done. That's it. That's all we've got left. So I'm gonna finish up with this waistband, and I'm going to come back and we'll hem, and we'll be done. All right, I finished sewing my waistband on, as you can see. How cool. So now what I'm going to do is I am gonna hem, but before I hem, one thing I forgot is I am going to steam this waistband down, and then I'm going to top stitch the waistband down. It's up to you. You don't have to do it. It's up to you if you want to, but that seam right there, I'm gonna go ahead and with my sewing machine, I'm gonna put it down and I'm gonna stitch it, top stitch it all the way around. So it's kind of laying flat for when I'm wearing it. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 inch hem. So I'll do 1/4 up, and then again 1/4 up. That way it doesn't come unraveled. Some people, if you'd rather do it this way, I've done it this way before, you can go ahead and finish your edge with a serger or with a zigzag stitch and then fold up 1/4, and that will work just fine as well. And that's probably what I'll do with this fabric, just because it's a little bit thicker. So I'd rather just go ahead and do that. Serge all the way around and then fold up and 1/4. All right, other than that, my pants are done. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did. Here's my pockets. I think the 2 inches went great because it's far enough down, but not too far. So they're right here. So that's great. I hope you enjoyed that little hack. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you make a pair of Feel Pretty pants, please post them on our Facebook page. If you're not part of it, the link to the Facebook page is below, so go ahead and join us, or on Instagram. We'd love to see it. We have lots of fun giveaways and sew-alongs over at our Facebook page, so come and join us. Please comment, share, like, and if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you so you never miss out on any of the other tutorials. Hope you have a great rest of your day and feel pretty in your pants. Goodbye.